Well friends, in this video we shall discuss regarding methods of plastering. The plastering may be applied in one or more coats, but the thickness of a single coat should not exceed 12 mm. In case of inferior or cheaper type of construction, the plaster may usually be one coat. For ordinary type of construction, the plaster is usually applied in two coats, whereas for superior type of work, it is applied in three coats. So depending upon the requirement, depending upon the type of construction, the plaster may be applied in one coat, two coats or three coats. If it is of single coat, only one coat, the minimum thickness or thickness should not be exceed 12 mm. The final setting coat should not be applied until the previous undercoat is almost dry. Before applying the next coat of the plaster, the previous plastered surface should be scratched or roughened to form a key with overcoming layer. In plastering, plaster mix is either applied by throwing it with the great force against the wall or by pressing it on the surface. Now, this is the method of plastering. Now we shall discuss different types of plastering or methods. Mud plastering, lime plastering, cement plastering, gypsum plastering, stucco plastering, different types are there. Apart from these various types are there, but we have limited to these types of plastering. So very first is mud plastering. Mud plastering. So whatever plastering is done in the village houses where no cement plastering is done, so it comes under mud plastering. तुम्ही जर खेड्यांमधले घरं बघितले असेल तर कधी कधी भिंती ह्या वेगवेगळ्या मटेरियलचे केलेल्या असतात. भेंडे म्हणजे मातीचे विटा म्हणजे भेंड्याचे केलेले असतात. कधी कधी ते वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचं शेवरी असतं, बांबू असतं, यांनी त्या भिंती तयार केल्या असतात. आणि दोज आर कवर्ड विथ द हेल्प ऑफ मड कुटिंग and it is nothing but mud plastering. The wall surface is first prepared as described in case of cement plastering. The mud plastering is then evenly dashed against wall surface with a wooden float. After 24 hours, the surface is tamped. The function of tamping is to compact the layer and to drive it deep into the joints. It also helps to avoid developments of cracks due to hollows. After tamping, water sprinkled slightly and the surface is polished with a steel trowel. A thin wash of cow dung is then given and tamping is done against at the places where small cracks have formed. Finally, the surface is given a wash of fine white earth and cow dung. Sometimes surface is given a wash of fine earth, cow dung and cement in proportion of 3:2:1. This type of plastering is done on walls of temporary sheds and countryside buildings. So here whatever procedure mentioned, so in case of village houses mud plastering is done. So how it is done? So mud is taken, cow dung is mixed, no cement is used as per as so mud is mixed with the help of cow dung and then it is plastered. Tamping is done, little bit tamping is done. That's the tamping. Tamping means compaction, tamping. So little bit tamping is done in case of this plastering. And after setting it, what is done? The mud again, mud mixed with cow dung, it is used. Or sometimes white clay is used to plaster it. ज्या गावांमध्ये गड्या आहेत, गड्यांची माती आणायची बघा. जुन्या काळामध्ये गडी म्हणजे जुने जे घरं राहते जास्त टेक्निक्स, ते गडीची माती आणायची आणि त्याने ते पुन्हा त्याला लेपमास गिलावा करायचा आणि त्याला स्मूथ सरफेस द्यायचा. सो विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दिस व्हाईट अर्थ अँड समटाइम्स cow dung is mixed with this so that no cracks will get developed. As such, in case of this, 99% of the times you will not find any sort of cracks in case of mud plastering. And this mud plastering, it is useful in all seasons: rainy season, cold season, summer season. It is a natural, so definitely it cope up with the natural conditions. So this is the best type of plastering which is used, but it is used in villages. Now next is lime plaster. When lime is used as the binding material, it is called as a lime plaster. So in case of this, one part of lime and one part of sand is mixed thoroughly to get the paste of required consistency. One part of lime and one part of sand is mixed for getting the paste of this plaster. Sand to be used should be clean, sharp and free from harmful deleterious material. Water to be used should be clean and fit for drinking purpose. For plaster work, fat lime, yes, that is important. Fat lime or pure lime is recommended because the hydraulic lime slacks slowly and results in damaging of plaster surface by blistering at a later stage. So normally hydraulic lime is avoided. So fat lime or pure lime is used for lime plastering work. Sometimes to improve the strength properties of lime mortar, suitable quantity of cement is added. Yes, in case of lime plaster, cement is added. Normally in case of mud plaster, cement is not added, and this plaster is used for external work. In order to improve the building properties of lime plaster, Google fragrant gum is added. Plaster fragrant gum, that is Google, is added when the mortar is being ground. So in case of this, to improve the properties of lime mortar, gum is added. Natural gum is added along with this so that it will become more strong. Material paste will become more strong. In the olden days, if you observe the constructions, those are carried out in the British regime in 1911, 1912. The bridges are there, different types of constructions, even you can say government quarters are there, government bungalows are there. So here you will find the lime mortar is used not for plastering work but for construction, and those constructions are intact till date, very strong constructions. It is not possible to remove the mortar from the masonry work. So lime plaster, as it is added with the gum, fragrant gum or Google. The lime mortar is usually kept for 2 days before use. So this is regarding lime plastering. Now coming to cement plaster, how it is done, that we shall discuss at the end. But what is cement plastering? When cement is used as the binding material, it is called as cement plaster. It is an intimate mixture of Portland cement and sand with the required water to make a plastic mass. It consists of usual proportions of 1 cement is to 4 sand. Normal proportion is 1 is to 4. 1 is to 3, 1 is to 4 and 1 is to 5 proportions are used for cement plastering. 1 part of cement, meaning is 1 part of cement and 4 parts of sand. Though higher proportion can be used depending upon nature of work. The ingredients are first thoroughly in dry conditions, and then the ingredients are first mixed thoroughly. Here there should be what, mixed thoroughly in dry condition, and then water is added to form a paste of required consistency. The mixing of material is done by hand on a watertight platform, and plaster of 1 bag of cement is prepared at a time. This prepared mortar for plastering should be consumed within 30 minutes after the addition of water, because initial setting time of cement is 30 minutes. So this mortar proportion should be used. So this is regarding how cement plastering method, that we shall discuss in next slides. So here you can see, here this is the masonry surface and here plastering is done. Normally plastering is started from the top, not from the bottom. So here this instrument, this is called a trowel. This is called as float. So this is called as float. This instrument is called as. Now gypsum plaster. Gypsum plaster is made from a mixture of lime and gypsum. It is found in layer form. This layer is usually used in size which makes it suitable for any sailing situation. It have good sound insulation and airproof but tend to broken or crack. The most common form of lime plaster is the 3-step process beginning with the scratch coat. The scratch coat is applied directly to the lap between 1/4 to 3/8 inches thick, and while still soft, it raked to the next coat will have a surface to adhere. The second coat, known as the brown coat, is the most important and tedious of the 3 steps. It is applied. Wall screeds, which are narrow strips of plastering, have to be formed. Those are plumb and level in which to create a form that will be used as a guide, that will help to achieve a vertical or horizontal surface in which apply the second coat. Before finishing, the second coat requires a scouring process that consolidates all the materials, help harden it and prevent it from cracking. Then to achieve perfect adhesion with the third coat, the surface is passed over with a wire brush or nail coat. The third coat is setting coat, which is about 1/8 inch thick. that prepares the wall for further decorating the completed surface. So here you can see here gypsum plaster is given to the wall surface. So here in case of this gypsum plaster, normally gypsum is used along with the lime for plastering work. So this gypsum plaster directly it can be applied on the masonry surface. Gypsum plastering can be applied directly on the masonry surface in one coat or two coat or in three coats also. Directly it can be applied. After application of the first coat, it is roughened and then second coat is applied. In case and sometimes in case of gypsum plaster, the first coat is of cement plaster. A thin coat is given of cement plaster and then gypsum plaster is applied. Normally this is preferred because due to this no dampness will enter into the room, and if dampness is there, in that case there will be formation of the flex. Popping will be there, flaking will be there in case of this gypsum plaster. This is the difficulty with this. So this is regarding gypsum plaster. Now last is stucco plastering. So the decorative plastering is called as stucco plastering. It is also called as in situ plastering. Stucco is the name given to a decorative type of plaster which gives an excellent finish. Stucco plaster can be used for interior as well as exterior surfaces. Normally it is given to the exterior surfaces. If show walls are there, interior walls are used as show walls, in that case stucco plastering is done to the internal walls also. It is usually laid in 3 coats, making the total thickness of the plaster to about 25 mm. In case of the stucco plastering, thickness is more, maximum is 25 mm. The first coat is called scratch coat. The second as finer coat, also known as the brown coat, and the third coat is called as white coat or finishing coat. Each coat should be permitted to dry thoroughly before applying the next coat. So this type of plastering, it comes under stucco plastering, decorative plastering. Here for application of this proper work, screed work is done and then it is applied. So this is called as stucco plastering or decorative plastering, normally carried out in 3 coats. First coat is called as scratch coat, second coat is called as brown coat, and last is the finishing coat. It is applied up to a thickness of 25 mm. Now we shall discuss how cement plastering is done. Method of cement plastering. Cement plastering is commonly used as ideal coating for external and internal surface of wall. Cement plaster is usually applied in a single coat or double coat. Double coat plaster is applied where thickness of plaster is required to be more than 15 mm or when it is required to get a very fine finish. So cement plastering is commonly used as a ideal coating. People used to go for this cement plastering for internal wall as well as external walls. It can be carried out in single coat, double coat, or even in 3 coats also. If it is of single coat, in that case maximum thickness is 12 mm. If it is to be carried out in 2 coats, in that case the thickness is 15 mm, and for 3 coats maximum thickness is 18 mm to 20 mm in case of this cement plastering. So how cement plastering is done? So this cement plastering is carried out in 4 steps. Now step number 1 is preparation of the surface for plastering. Step number 2 is groundwork for plastering. Step number 3 is applying first coat. And step number 4 is applying second coat, and if 3 coat is there, step number 5 will be the application of the third coat, that is finishing coat. In case of 2 coat, the second coat will be the finishing coat, and so on. So coming to step number 1, preparation of the surface for plastering. What is this? Preparation of surface for plastering work. So keep all the mortar joints of wall rough so as to give a good bonding to whole plaster. So as a part of preparation of the surface, all the mortar joints are kept rough so that there will be proper bonding with the plastering work. Clean all the joints and surface of wall with wire brush. There should be no oil or grease left on the wall surface. So wall surface, all the joints should be clean with the help of wire brush for oils and grease. If the surface is smooth or the wall to be plastered is old one, then rake out the mortar joint. Raking is done. Raking करना म्हणजे त्यातलं loose mortar काढणे. Raking out the joints to a depth of at least 12 mm. 12 mm पर्यंत त्याच्या जुन्या कामासाठी जॉईंट मधलं रेकिंग आउट करायचं म्हणजे जुनं जे मॉर्टरचं लूज मटेरियल असेल ते काढायचं टू गिव्ह ए बेटर बॉन्डिंग टू द प्लास्टर. If the projections on the wall surface is more than 12 mm, then knock it off so as to obtain a uniform surface of wall. This will reduce the consumption of plaster. So if any sort of projections are there which are more than 12 mm, means more than thickness of the plaster, those should be knocked off, those should be removed. If there exist any cavities or holes on the surface, then fill it in advance with appropriate material. So if any holes are there, cavities are, those should be filled up as a part of preparation of surface. Roughen the entire wall to be plaster. Roughen the entire wall with the help of brush. Wash the mortar joints and entire wall to be plaster and keep it wet for at least 6 hours before application of the cement. So preparation of surface is nothing but preparation of the surface with all sort of loose dust and dirt material. So it comes under preparation of the surface. The next second is called as groundwork for plaster. So what is meant by this groundwork? In order to get uniform thickness of plastering throughout the wall surface, first fix dots on the wall. What is groundwork? In order to get uniform thickness of plastering throughout the wall, first fix dots on the walls. To means to carry out the plastering line and level. Line and level, that too maintaining the verticality of the wall. Dots are fixed. What is these dots? A dot means patch of plaster of size 150 mm by 150 mm and having thickness of about 10 mm or sometimes equal to thickness of plaster. So very first dots are marked having size 150 mm by 150 mm. म्हणजे अर्धा फूट साइज असते स्क्वेअर 150 by 150 mm with thickness equals to 10 mm. Dots are fixed on the wall first horizontally and then vertically. First horizontal dots are fixed and the distance between these two dots is kept 2 meter covering the entire wall surface. Why it is kept 2 meter? Because whatever float is used for plastering, float is the instrument which is used for plastering work, it is having length equals to 2 meter. The same distance is maintained between two dots, so float can be easily moved on these dots while plastering the surface. Check the verticality of dots one over the other by means of plumb bob. Plumb bob is used to check the verticality. After fixing dot, the vertical strips of plaster known as screeds are formed in between the dots. These screeds serve as the gauge for maintaining even thickness of plastering being applied. So after formation of these dots 150 mm by 150 mm and 2 meter apart horizontally and vertically, after checking the verticality with the help of plumb bob, the vertical strips of plaster are formed between these two dots called as a screeds and these work as a gauge while plastering. So this is the dots. So they let this as a wall surface. On this wall surface, these dots are formed 2 meter by 2 meter, 2 meter apart, having size 150 mm by 150 mm, and then these two dot, the area between these two dots, it is plaster. It is called as screed work, base work. It serves as a gauge. So this is the groundwork. Sometimes short note is asked, what is dots in plastering? So these are the dots. What is size of the dots? How these are made and what is the use of this? So this is regarding groundwork. Step number 3: applying first coat or ground coat or a rendering coat. Application of first coat. In case of brick masonry, the thickness of the first coat plaster is in general 12 mm, and in case of concrete masonry, this thickness varies from 9 mm to 15 mm. The ratio of cement and sand for first coat plaster varies from 1:3 to 1:4. 1 part of cement, 3 parts of sand. Apply the first coat of plaster between the spaces formed by the screeds on the wall surface. This is done by means of trowel. Trowel means thapi. Level the surface by means of flat wooden float. It is a rule-like instrument is used and wooden strategy is used. After leveling, let the first coat to be set, but not to dry, and then roughen it with a scratching tool to form a key to the second coat. After application of the first coat, when it is wet, now it should not allow to dry, and then this scratch roughening is done to form a key between the first coat and second coat. Now coming to application of second coat, you can say finishing coat or fine coat. The thickness of a second coat or finishing coat may vary between 2 mm to 3 mm. Normally it is 3 mm. The ratio of cement and sand of second coat plaster varies from 1:4 to 1:6. So it is given here 1:4, 1:6. The normal proportions which are used for plastering is 1:3 or 1:4. Before applying the second coat, damp the first coat evenly. Watering is done on the second coat, first coat, and then second coat is applied. Applying the finishing coat with a wooden float to a true even surface and using a steel trowel give it a finishing touch. As far as possible, the finishing coat should be applied starting from top towards bottom. Yes, already I have mentioned in that sketch it was not clear in the first sketch. So as far as possible, the finishing coat should be applied starting from top towards bottom and completed in one operation to eliminate joining works. After completion of plastering work, it is kept wet by sprinkling water for at least 7 days in order to develop strength and hardness. So plastering work should be well watered at least for 7 days so that it will gain good strength and it will become hard. So this is all about various types of plastering and details regarding cement plastering. Normally question is asked on cement plastering, the method of cement plastering, how it is carried out in 4 stages, or sometimes short note is asked on dots in plastering work. So this is all about plastering. Thank you.